That's the story you're telling yourself based on fear, to conceptualize it.
As you come into this era of I am, it is also discovering that this God that humans have been seeking for the last 10,000 years doesn't exist out in heaven somewhere, isn't hidden somewhere. It is right here. It has always been there.
There's a shift. We would suggest some are saying there's a new myth of God. A new myth of God arising at this time. And that is a very exciting prospect, to take the idea of God into a larger context of God, goddess. All that is, that God is not simply a masculine image per se, but is a principle that is both masculine, feminine, and the synergy of both.
Everything that exists, even that rocky hillside outside your window there, everything that exists has a divine aspect. It is part of what you call God or goddess.
And you don't like that. The viewers don't like that. The watchers don't like that, for they wish to put God on the pedestal. And they want to say all good things come from God, and they are taught they are nothing from birth. And it's not that way.
We define love as the choice to see the divinity in all beings, not just human beings, not just spirit beings, but in all beings, all that is.
Often we will use all that is, because that's what the infinite is, the one is. By definition, it is all that is. There is no outside to it. There cannot be an outside to it.
That is, in our view, what God is. And so you are, literally, you are all God. You're all goddess. And you have the power that goes along with being divine, even though you don't think you do, most of the time.
Magnificent, all of you. My definition of God are the ones I sit in front of. You want God to be one thing, for you in 3D. You want to worship God, for you in 3D. And I tell you this, that the day that you start suppressing what you've been told and opening the door to what God really is, in will come God, and it'll have your face on it.
What do you say to people who really do not feel empowered?
We would suggest that if people are not feeling empowered, the first thing we do is remind them that they are telling themselves some lies. Yes. When people say, I know I'm powerless, or I'm feeling powerless, we say, that's a story you're telling yourself. That's a story you're telling yourself based on fear.
I'm going to simplify this for you, and perhaps some may think the answer is a bit terse, but just get over it. You're wallowing in your own self-pity. You have set up an energy of being a victim of life, a victim of other people. You're allowing them to steal your energy and to steal your heart and your consciousness. You're in a type of trap, and you're letting it happen. You decide one day when you get out of bed, or one night when you're taking a walk, that you're just going to get over it. You're going to stop letting others take from you, and you're going to stop taking from other people as well. You're going to be whole and sovereign. And it is truly that simple. You know what makes it complex and makes it difficult for humans is they develop all these multi-step programs, and they write books, and they have seminars and classes, and they get more and more and more into the mind and away from the true matter at hand. You are an angelic being. You are God also. Get over all the rest of it.
Human beings want to compartmentalize everything. They want to know the steps of ascension. They want to know itemization by itemization, what things they must do in order to please God. Never understanding that if they are pieces of God themselves, that there is a switch inside that is all ready to go. That switch, known very well in spirituality all over the planet, is the one that gives you permission for the epiphany, for the enlightenment to begin to pour in, for answers. It is slow, and you must unlearn what you have taught, but it is true. Any human can. Any human can, no matter what the situation, no matter where they are or who they are.
In this so-called New Age or Age of Awakening or Age of Spiritual Awareness on your planet, the whole idea is that you are really at the end of the cycle of limitation that you have imposed upon yourself for thousands of years. And you're awakening into the remembrance that you don't have to do it that way.
There's only one question that you should ask. It's the fast track, as they say, to spirituality. It is the fast track, as they say, to getting whatever it is that you have come for. Human being who would be watching this now, whatever is before you and whatever challenges are there, the fast track to all of that is to get into a meditative state with pure intent and say to God, to Spirit, I love you. I know you are there. Show me what it is I need to know. And don't expect an answer to fall upon you in a physical way, but instead expect that you have connected to what seems to be the chaos of the system of the universe, connected in such a way that the synchronicity will begin to appear in your lives like little open doors here and there to guide you to the places that will answer the questions that you would have had otherwise.
There are no victims. There are absolutely no victims.
There are only willing participants. All right? There are no victims. So you can create your reality. All right? You can unplug from mass consciousness and create a separate reality. You are an immortal being who has chosen to project itself into this game.
You're a sovereign, self-sustaining being.
You're powerful creators. You create everything you've ever experienced. And the only alternative to that is to make yourself a victim of fate or whatever, of my mother and father's mistreatment of me or whatever. Now we realize people don't want to die of some painful illness or in a car accident or whatever, but nothing happens to you. Every death, we have said several times over the years, every death is really a suicide because nothing can happen to you vibrationally that you're not a party to, if you will. In other words, if you're constantly afraid of dying in a car accident, you're probably going to die in a car accident. If you're constantly believing that your body, no matter what its condition, healthy or unhealthy, has the resources to bring itself back to a state of perfect health, then you're going to achieve that state of perfect health.
So, if someone gets cancer,
Yes.
they want to put themselves through that experience at some level?
It isn't that the physical personality necessarily wants to have that experience, but it may be part and parcel of belief systems that have been bought into and ideas and definitions that have been bought into that allow you to experience the idea that you are a victim of something or out of control. But the idea is to learn through that you're not, and that you actually can create something else, that you actually can transmute that idea, that experience into something else, or learn from it in a positive way. And the thing to also remember is that regardless of what happens to the physical personality, the spirit, the being, the consciousness is eternal and infinite and has the capability of experiencing a number of things. And even though it may experience for a time the idea of something that causes it pain and suffering, it is a temporary experience that the soul can nevertheless use to its benefit.
You know, pain serves its purpose. It is a catalyst for change, because if you were happy and content all the time, you probably wouldn't move, would you?
Probably not.
No. So it serves as a catalyst, and we will tell you pain is perception, nothing more.
I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that, again, this pain must be experienced. I am simply saying that it is part and parcel of the definition of the reality that you have decided to experience, the physical time-space reality. Such things are possible in that experience. But the idea is to learn through that experience that you actually don't have to